Yes, now, welcome back to another episode on the RP Trading Cards channel. Today, we've got a two-parter. We've got first bit be on our Mailday, and second, what tickets I've got in my personal collection and what is going to be going off to PSA in the very near future. But there's no better way to start this than let's get straight into it. So first of all, we're starting with some Mailday. So starting up here, we have I've joined a couple of Merlin breaks. So obviously Merlin recently come out, and these were on Whatnot with my good friend LGL Breaks. So I picked up Juventus, Bayer Leverkusen and Arsenal. So we've got Del Piero, Weston McKennie, Federico Chiesa, Pavel Nedved. Oh, and I had Ajax as well, of Dejan Wrench and Kenneth Taylor. Lovely card design, but like I say, no parallels at all. So Patrick Schick and Florian Wirtz, unspoken man at the moment, I think, in football. People forgetting that he's even about. He's playing really well again. Then obviously moving over to the Arsenal, Viviana Miedema, Stina Blackstenius, Leah Williamson, Gabriel Jesus, a lovely action Martinelli. I might try and pick up some parallels to this. Then Dennis Bergkamp, Ian Wright and the Legends. It's a shame no sponsors, but you got to give what you with Tops at the moment. If they don't have the licensing, it is what it is. So moving on now to my good friend 19's cards. So sorted out a deal for this Jorginho. I was going to order it, I just didn't in the end. And I really wanted to get a parallel with this, and funny enough, this arrived, and a week later he got a lovely golden envelope, and he got the purple 75.99. Picked this up from him after a tenner posted. Obviously he's a very good friend of mine and done a very good deal. He's played so well for us so far, Jorginho. I really like this card. I think the parallels for Tops always are a winner. I don't care what anyone tells me, just a really nice card. So I'm very happy to have that one in the collection. Moving on now to Philipp Lahm. So he's a part of my all-time 11. And I wanted to pick up an early Philipp Lahm. Obviously the end goal is to pick up his rookie. Obviously we have a Thomas Muller here, who's in my all-time 11. That is his true rookie. It's a 5, so I will upgrade him for the future. But Philipp Lahm, this is his second year. But Champions of Europe, one of the best sticker albums out there, I think, in my personal opinion. Picked this one up for £10 as well, posted. Seems in good condition. Bottom left is slight off of it, and obviously centering is not the best, but I'd still take that because I did need a good Philipp Lahm in the PC. Moving on now to a little double deal I got off SE Cards. Starting with this blue breakaway Granit Xhaka, numbered 194 out of 199, and this teal, I really do like this teal, number 4 of 49. Obviously everyone knows me by now, massive Granit Xhaka fans. Whenever, I think these were £5 posted, whenever I see any Xhaka especially going cheap that I either don't have or need for the PC, I always try and pick them up. My case is literally near enough full up, the whole one row now of Xhaka, so it's always good to be looking out for more of his stuff. This was an eBay pickup, obviously impeccable, the year of 2021, 2022. Aaron Ramsdale, who's having an absolute sensational season, number 13 of 55. I've been saying it for years now. Even before he got to Arsenal, I predicted him to be England number 1 at the World Cup. Obviously, Pickford's been doing well, but personally, I would have Pickford at number 3. I would have Pope and Ramsdale in front of him. And I think Ramsdale has been sensational this season. That I think deserves his shot at number 1 now. And obviously, a couple of clean sheets this week for us. When he's called into action, he always performs. And I think the really good save, if I can get a clip of it, I'll put it in the bottom left hand corner of him at Aston Villa. Has just been nominated for save of the month. Fantastic save, and actually if he didn't save that, we probably would have lost that game rather than win it 4-2. And another pickup for the all-time 11, Picked this up on eBay for £22, I think it was. It's probably a bit overpriced, but it was on auction and I needed to get a Neymar from Santos. Obviously, long run, I would probably pick up one of his stickers. There's a few I'm watching on eBay at the moment, but 2010, 2011 Panini. Obviously, this is actually not an English set, but anything with Neymar in his Santos kit has to be picked up. And I'm working on a Neymar side PC as well. I just really like him as a footballer. One of the most entertaining players I watch. Obviously, I understand people say like he's falling around in his gamemanship, but one of the really top class players. Obviously, Brazil's leading national scorer, obviously beating Pele, which was an unbelievable achievement. Shame they haven't won a World Cup really, because that would have solidified his legacy. Bit like Messi, that I think if he done it, there'd be no doubt just how actual good he is. And moving on now, obviously I did mention before that we'd be looking at tickets. So obviously I've shown this one off before, which is my Arsene Wenger's last game in charge in a PSA 8. So I will be showing you some of my raw ones, which are in the queue for grading. I've had a few people ask about this, but this is never leaving the PC, this one, so I can leave it just there for the moment. First up, this was quite a funny one, because I found this one. England versus Slovakia, and I was like, but this is going to be nothing significant. Like, this is just another random ticket of a match I went to. Then I researched the actual match of it, and it turns out to be David Beckham's, I think it was 109th cap, which was a record breaking for an outfield player. So, niche one. Would I get it graded? Maybe in the long run when it comes down in price, but at the moment, no. I think it's just quite a neat one to have. Quite good condition as well, so yeah, we've got that one. And now moving on to Arsenal, which the rest of them are dominated by Arsenal. Obviously, it always helps that I go all the games. This one is actually from this season, and people might be thinking, well, what's the significance from a ticket from this season? But this was Ethan Nwane's debut. So he was, when he actually made his debut, he was 15 years old. So all-time youngest player in the history of the Premier League. So I thought that was a really neat one to keep. History one. Obviously eclipsing Harvey Elliott, I think it was, when he was at Fulham. So lovely one to keep for that one. This one's thrown it back a further few years. Obviously this is not in the greatest condition, this one. But this was Tony Adams' second testimonial for Arsenal. So for people who don't know how it used to be, obviously before all the riches in football, if you played 10 years for the same club, you'd get a testimonial and then you'd keep the gate receipts for it and to show your appreciation. And then after 20 years, you'd get another one. And this was Tony Adams' second one for Arsenal. So how nice would it be if the tickets were still £17? And as you can see, my name's on the ticket, so it was mine as well. So yeah, it was great one to have. Obviously not the best condition on that one. This one is a rather intriguing one, and I really do like this one, because I don't ever see it pop up much. And this is obviously from 2001, Barnet v Arsenal pre-season friendly, and people must be thinking, well, that's nothing significant. This was actually, believe it or not, Sol Campbell's first ever appearance for Arsenal, and I was very young at this time. I was 4 years old at this game, but at that game they had to employ so much more security, Barnet, and you can actually read about it if you search it up, because there was a lot of Tottenham fans trying to get into Barnet to obviously sling abuse at Sol. But I think it's a really cool one. This one definitely will be going off for grading. Arsenal legend, footballing legend, obviously won the league as well. And another one to match up with the other Wenger. This is another Arsene Wenger's last game. This was obviously my dad's ticket, so my one's graded there. This one has got a fold down it, so it won't get an 8, but it's nice to have another piece of history in the collection. Moving on now, I've got some few FA Cup final tickets. So first one up, Arsenal v Southampton. Obviously another victory for Arsenal in the FA Cup. Obviously we've won it the most amount of times, 14 times. So lucky enough, I've got quite a few of the I've got every single ticket bar the one played behind closed doors from the last 20 years. So there's another lovely ticket. Obviously this is when it was at Millennium, when they was redoing Wembley. So yeah, it's a lovely ticket. Obviously it's got a fold on it, but it's more about just having the tickets for these ones. Moving on to this one. This is an Arsenal v Chelsea ticket from 2002. Freddie Ljungberg and Ray Parlour scored two absolute worldies, and there was a famous quote from this game. The commentary said, "It's only Ray Parlour," and then he hit it in from 30 plus yards. And I always giggle to myself when I see these tickets all the way back in 2002, and it's still £55. It just shows you how much more expensive the ticket was. But then I see this one, which was the next year after it, which was £25. So all I'm saying, that's a bit dodgy. That Arsenal Chelsea big games, and then they put the prices up. Moving on, next one. This is a bit more of a recent one. This is the Emirates FA Cup Final 2017. Arsenal Chelsea again, obviously, after that one. But this one is a significant one. I believe this one was Arsene Wenger's record-breaking FA Cup wins. I call this the Per Mertesacker final. Didn't play all season, coming for the final and absolutely bossed it. So another one I was fortunate to be at. So it's just a lovely ticket to have in the collection. And moving on now, so this one is quite a cool one. So it's still in the sleeves from the where we got it. So these are Arsenal v Hull City. This is when we actually went 2-0 down very early on, and everyone's hoping for worse. And then Santi Cazorla scored an absolute weldy of a free kick to get us back in it. Then Laurent Koscielny scored to take us into extra time. And then a legendary moment from Aaron Ramsey where he touched it, put it in the corner, and then goes on the floor just like Charlie Jules did back in the day. So, like I say, this was a historic moment for us. This was when we finally broke our duck of 9 years of winning nothing. So, great to have another couple of them in the collection. And I think what I really like about these tickets is they're actually like a showpiece. They are really nice foil on it, a lovely picture as well. And obviously, you can see the run to the final we had that year, and obviously it weren't the easiest run. Obviously, beating Spurs, beating Liverpool, Everton, Wigan in the semi-final. So yeah, that was a good one. Now, this is one of my prized possessions in the ticketing collection. Is these two tickets here. So straight away you might be thinking, oh well, there's a load of squiggles all over this one. And fortunate enough for me, I met quite a few of the players after the game. Actually, where they was hosting the party after Arsenal won it. So for this one, we have two autographs. Here, right here, we have the Spanish magician himself, Santiago Cazorla, and here we have Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, obviously now at Liverpool, but very nice ticket. And then this one is the one that means the most to me personally. Obviously, there's quite a few more autographs on this one. We've got, I literally wrote on the back so I remembered, Monreal, Diaby, Bellerin, Flamini. So that was Diaby. I think that one's, now I've got to try and remember which one's what now. But this one right here is the one, because they always say don't meet your idols, but that is Mesut Ozil. I was very lucky enough to meet Mesut. Really nice he was when he spoke to me. Thanked everyone for coming to the final, but yeah, I still can't believe I actually did meet Mesut, and yeah, it's a great ticket to have in the collection. Moving on now to some other very niche ones. So, sadly, these ones, I've got 3 of them, but this is from a defeat. But these are 3 Champions League tickets. So, obviously, this was 2006, the only time Arsenal have ever made it into the Champions League final. We come up against Barcelona, we went 1-0 up via Sol Campbell. Then Jens Lehmann got sent off, and then the rest is history. We lost 2-1. There is some significance of this silver lining, so to speak, for the day, because it was a miserable day in the pouring down rain in Paris. But it's actually, and shout out to one of my friends, El Toro, because I know he wants one of these ones, but sadly these are not going anywhere. This was Ronaldinho's, Xavi and Iniesta's first ever Champions League title. Sadly, Messi didn't play in the final, otherwise it would have been his first Champions League final as well. But he was injured for the final and played in most other rounds. But yeah, it's really cool to have. And then the last 2, starting with this Man United ticket. This was from 2002 when Sylvain Wiltord scored the only goal at 1-0 at Old Trafford for Arsenal to win the league at Old Trafford. A historic moment for Arsenal Football Club. A very famous goal as well in the gold kit. And then last but not least, look away Tottenham fans. It's a Tottenham ticket, and this is one of the only things Tottenham I will allow in my PC. Because this is the day in 2004 that Arsenal won the league at White Hart Lane for the second time. So, yeah, this is a great ticket to have. I know this is one of the most desirable tickets for an Arsenal fan to have, even though it's got that horrible writing on top. But this is when we won. We drew 2-2, I believe. I think it was Robert Pires and Patrick Vieira. We drew 2-2. I think it was Robbie Keane or someone equalised right at the end. All the Tottenham fans were going mental on the players. Then they realised all we needed was a draw. So we did win the league that year. And to have our last 2 titles, tickets, these will definitely go off to PSA with the rest of them. But like I say, thank you ever so much for watching the channel again. Please drop a subscribe down below. Press like and also comment. What ticket would you like to pick up if you had the chance? And do pay attention because there'll be a very special series starting soon where we look back at the week of football but in the card world. So until next time, hope everyone out there is doing well, stay safe and happy hobbying.